Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA, and home to the Commodores of Vanderbilt, who hope today they will hit all of the right notes. What an exciting matchup we have in store for you this afternoon, built around the pageantry, tradition, and everything that makes college football great. As we'll see, the Groupers taking on a team from the SEC, the Vanderbilt Commodores. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Time to get this game started. The Groupers about to kick it away and get this season started. He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. So Vanderbilt's offense will have the opening possession of the game. It's often said quarterback is the most high-profile position in sports, and when you have a guy like this, how could it not be?
Yeah, he's the guy that the defense is going to be keying. All week long to watch film to get ready for him. But David, when you have his kind of athletic ability and his kind of arm talent, he is so difficult to stop.
Yeah, you could have all week. You could have all season. This guy is so dynamic at the quarterback spot. They trust him. They know what he brings to the table. This offense revolves around what he can do.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. They'll run play action. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf. Let's take a big view here about Vanderbilt. The good news about starting the season outside the top 25, not a lot of lofty expectations. You can sneak up on a few teams, but sooner or later, you're going to want to get that attention and get into those rankings.
A lot more, but it's not impossible. In recent years, you saw it with Indiana coming out of absolutely nowhere. You saw it back in the day with USF. You've seen it with Rutgers. Like, in the past, you can do it. You can put it together, gain some momentum, but it starts with this game right here.
TCU reached the national championship game a few years back. No one expected much of them that season either, so you never know. What's important is what people believe inside your own locker room. This team thinks they can do some really special things this year, and they get a chance to start strong here in week 1.
They'll start this drive with a pass. He's going to take a shot. Oh, right through his hand. They came out attacking, wanted to impose their will, and they missed a big chance on that one. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Here comes the option. And he fights his way forward, gets away from one, but not much doing on that one.
Playing the option, man. Consistently playing responsibility football. Nice job by the defense being where they're supposed to be. This option will just keep giving it to you over and over and over again, and you got to pass those tests.
He is not going to get there. Stopped short of the line to gain, and it'll be 4th down. And the Groupers will punt this one away. He ought to be able to use this first punt to pin him deep. And no chance for the return man to get his hands on that one as it hops out of bounds. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. They didn't get much done the last time they had it and to punt it away from deep in their own territory, hoping this drive will be more productive. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
Looking to throw, it's Pavia. Floats it out in space. Caught, and he's close to a 1st down on the nice pickup there.
Not difficult, not complicated, but early in the game, getting that rhythm. Find that timing into wide receiver so you're set up for success. Then you go attack deep later on.
The Commodores brought to the ground, but not before picking up the 1st. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. Looking downfield on 1st down. Trying to make magic with his feet. make the stop at the 40, but it's a 10-yard gain and a fresh set of downs.
And defensively, you've got to know this guy, man. He's got some wheels to him. He'll get outside the pocket. You can't let him outside the cage. Those ends have to do a good job of keeping contained. When you lose it, this is what happens. He can get outside, can scramble, and can get first downs.
Looking to throw on first down. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down.
Keep pounding away at this defense and make them play the run. If you can get this many a chunk, they're going to have to commit more guys to the box, more guys to the run. Then you open it up for the passing game.
Looking for an open area to his left. Working their way closer and closer. A third down conversion, and they've got it at the 26. And the Commodores have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Almost intercepted. It'll fall incomplete. The defense almost came up with a turnover.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him, and it just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
It's really nice to see this offense bounce back. That first possession, man, they go 3 and out. They really struggled, and now starting to put a drive together, get their feet a little bit wet. Now you can see they're starting to get pretty comfortable.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit, and I think because of that, wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
Touchdown, Vandy! Grabbed in the end zone to put 6 on the board.
And a really nice job understanding, I got to get to that gap where there's a little bit of open space in the middle of the field when I run that post route. QB lays it out for him, and he catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds, in the end zone, touchdown.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. That drive covers 62 yards for the touchdown. And they finish it up with a 15-yard scoring toss. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. And we'll see the offense make its way onto the field here, hoping for a successful drive. They went 3 and out on their first possession, now to see if they can be more productive this time around. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. They'll try the run. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Man, this defense is setting the tone early. 3 and out on the first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, they get a TFL. They are sending a very clear and distinct message to this offense. They are going to set the tone of this game.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. The carry going off right tackle here. And he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Well, guys, Vanderbilt has the lead here as the quarter comes to a close. And we've come to the end of one, and let's take a quick moment to catch up on the stats. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the second. So they go back to work after the break, and it is third down. They'll run the option. The give to the back. And he'll lose yardage on this play. Loses 2 yards. Great job by the defense.
Third down. Offense trying to go option, seeing if they can outflank the defense by pitching it, but nothing there. Great penetration up front. The defense looked like they were ready for it, guys, and they were able to come away with a massive negative play.
The groupers line up to punt it away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt.
Returner runs out of bounds.
Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. Took the last drive in for a touchdown. They'll try to do it again on this one. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Back to throw, it's Pavia. Quickly complete. They make the stop, but the sweet throw and catch is plenty to give them a first down.
The thing I like about this slot receiver, he's really intentional in his route running. The quarterback always knows exactly where he's going to be on the field. They've got great chemistry together.
Wants to go up top on first down. Quick throw, but he's not going anywhere. The defense was all over him. The Commodores trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Second down, they'll go to the air. Quickly to the tight end. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. And the Commodores are at the line looking to convert on third and short. Gives it on the option. They tried to go smash mouth on third and short, and it did not work against this defense. And here they come going for the first down on 4th and 2. Out of the gun, looking to throw. Big tight end makes the grab, first down, still on his feet. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains.
I love the aggressive nature offensively there. It's 4th down, and you're going to try and go for it. And you have so much confidence in your quarterback to be able to make that play, come up with a good throw, keep the drive alive.
They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time and get to that first down marker. Line getting set on second down. Back to pass. Shoots it to the left. Complete. The Commodores come to the line with a fresh set of downs.
Moves.
From the red zone, looking for a space. Get it out on the screen. The ball is down at the 14 after that grab. Going to work on second down in the red zone is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Going to look downfield again. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up third down.
And that's your goal. Separate man from ball. Try to get your shoulder in there on the catch point and really give him something to think about. Physically jar that football and knock it out. Nice job by the defender.
Men don't break. Defense, right? They've allowed a lot of big plays, but here in the red zone, great job in coverage on that third down, and now the offense is in an interesting situation.
Never a doubt. And now the lead is even bigger.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
So they were able to put up a 3 spot on that last drive, and now the kickoff team out there as they prepare to put boot to leather. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Okay, so here comes the offense returning to the field. Not a lot of time left here in the half. Let's see if they can cut into this lead.
And this drive isn't a must score, but man, you look at the scoreboard, you're down 2 scores. Jesse, you got a good opportunity. Create some momentum, cut it to a 1-score game. This is an important possession.
Yeah, it's important to create that momentum now, David, too, and not wait to get it going here at the start of the third quarter. You've got one drive here to get a couple of points. You've got to start erasing and chipping away at this deficit. This could be where the game turns right here.
That penalty moves the ball back 10 yards. We'll replay the down. Offense gets set for second down. Leaves it with the running back. And he finds enough running room, and he's marked down at the 20. IndyCar tempo as they head to the line for this third down play. Clock running. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. Took a shot as he threw. And they fail to hook up on third down.
It's amazing to think just how confident this offense was coming into this game. They thought they were going to go up and down the field throwing the football in this one. That has not been the case. They have not yet scored a touchdown in this one. They just threw an incompletion on third down now, looking like they may have to punt. This offense has got to find their rhythm, but you've got to wonder about their confidence at this point of the game.
This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return. Gets a little bit of ground for the offense. They'll send the tight end in motion. Out of the shotgun, they go to the ground.
Really nice first down run, and you're seeing why this running back is an every down type. He can run between the tackles, he can run outside, he can catch the football, he can block. This guy can do it all.
And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down. And the Commodores come to the line on third and short, trying to convert here. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover.
Defensive backs have tough jobs. I mean, you think about whether you play nickel, whether you play dime, whatever it is, you put more DBs on the field. It's more speed. It's more guys that can cover, but they also got to cover that ground. But to cover the ground and make the pick, a lot of times you don't see that. Superb effort by that guy.
He's stopped in the backfield again. This defense trying to send a message he'll have to carry into halftime. Clock still running, almost certainly the last play of the half. He'll do it himself. And he takes this one back to the line of scrimmage, a rather anticlimactic end to the first half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Boys, you never quite know what to expect there in Nashville, and we've had a lively first half. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. And with that, let's send it back to the guys at First Bank Stadium.
All right, Kevin, about ready to start the second half here. The We'll kick it off to start the second half. And a special teams miscue as the kickoff goes out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
Don't know if the... to the air on first down. Caught over the middle. It's Sheffield. Found a little bit of room to operate, but he'll be stopped just short of the first down. They'll run the option. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. If every journey begins with a step, this offense needs to step into a third down conversion and then try to turn it into some scores, and fast. That'll be enough for the first down, and they'll mark it at the 48. And the groupers come to the line with a new set of downs. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Pressure coming. He'll pull it down and run. A most efficient pickup of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4. They'll run it from the gun. And some room to work. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. The groupers have their offense in high gear. They'll ride the hot hand. Knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, he'll lose a yard. After losing a couple on that last play, here's 2nd and 12. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Back to pass on 2nd down. Rushes on him. And the quarterback goes down. There is a penalty flag on the field, but I think the defense might have the option just to take this play. They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. Just threw that one away to avoid disaster. And the groupers decide to punt it away. And a precision punt there will pin them deep inside their own 10-yard line. This offense is stuck way back in its own end of the field. Gonna run it. It's Newberry. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. The pull and throw off the RPO. Gets it out to the 22 before going out of bounds, and they are suddenly out of trouble.
The defense has got to be able to make a play at some point here in the second half. You're down 2 possessions. You need to steal a possession badly. You need to have a takeaway. The coverage is going to have to be way tighter than on that last throw. Otherwise, this offense is just going to go up and down the field.
Give to the running back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Looking for a man, it's Pavia. Here's the pressure. Breaks into the open. He gets the job done, picking up the first down, then getting down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They go to the ground. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Right back to the well. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. The D thinking bring some heat on 3rd and long from the 44. He'll loft one deep down the left side. Grabs it inside the 15.
Man, I love this offensive approach, man. All gas, no brakes. You got the lead, so what? Continue to do what you do. Find those one-on-one situations and continue to stay aggressive.
And the Commodores had tough field position to start this drive, but they've been relentless in moving the ball methodically down the field. Running to the left. He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Trying play action. Gets it out fast. They kept him out of the end zone, but not before he gets it to the 1-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal. That That's it for the period, and it's Vanderbilt holding the lead. They're sitting in a strong position here with the lead. Let's take a look at our game summary. When you're dealing with a deficit like this, it's all about somebody stepping up to make a play, and you might as well start here in the fourth quarter. They'll use the running game on first and goal. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Doors!
Well, I think this home environment was just too much for their opponents to handle. There's been unbelievable noise and energy. The crowd showed up today, but how about the playmaking on the field? These guys have got dudes all over the field, and this kind of win week one sends a statement and reverberates all across college football.
And that extra point is a big one as they now have a 3-possession, 17-point lead in the fourth. And he takes this from inside the 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll snap the ball. First play of the drive coming from their own 24. Now on the option. He'll toss it. Fights off a defender. Finds that crease, and he's got 4 out to the 29. The groupers moving quickly to the line.
It's a veteran defense. They've seen option before. They were prepared to see it in this game, and you're seeing it on that play right there. Everybody doing a great job with assignment football, staying in their gaps, accounting for anyone who can have the football. They were ready for the pitch guy that time, and they're able to make a quick stop.
He's going to look for a man on third and short. Lofts one high and deep. Interception, and things are going from bad to worse. They bring him down, but that great defensive play might be overturned. Let's see what the call is. That is a huge break for this offense. Instead of the turnover, roughing the passer, and you've still got the football. From the gun, running back on the move. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
Yeah, and this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them because
nowhere to go with the ball and down. He goes at the 39. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Takes a hit as he fires. And it's incomplete. The long pass downfield they couldn't hook up. Couldn't ask for better starting field position for this offense. Looking downfield, it's Pavia. He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. They keep it on the ground. Clock is their friend. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and this offense just a couple of minutes away from putting one in the win column. On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Moving deeper into... territory. Move the chains. It's first down at the 27.
Really nice job there by the quarterback understanding it's blitz, and not just that it's blitz, but knowing whether it's man coverage or zone coverage behind the blitz. You've still got to know where your answer is going to be based on what the defense is doing in the back end, and he add the answer to the test right there.
And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup. Behind the chains now on second and long. Looking to fire. Tight end finds a soft spot. He's run out of bounds after the big gain, and they are in business, first and goal. So close to cashing it in for this offense. They'll keep it on the ground for first and goal. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They need 7 more yards to reach the end zone. It's second and goal. Fires into the end zone. And he really wanted to get the touchdown there, but it's incomplete.
Well, that last incompletion is a good example of why your timing has to be so good as a quarterback, because the windows, they open and they close.
And the pressure was too much. They get him at the 15. Now it looks as if they'll settle for the field goal try. It's good. He could have hit a string right in the middle of the uprights there. And that lead grows even bigger.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, fourth quarter was sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
That gamble did not pay off as they bring it down at the 12-yard line. Here comes the offense back onto the field. It has been a rather forgettable day that's finally coming to a close, David.
Yeah, it's been an awful day. I mean, just not functioning well on offense, defense giving up a lot of points. This is a day, Palmer, they'll like to forget.
Yeah, you're going to find out a lot about their character right now. Obviously, not what they hoped this would be, and that's demoralizing for a lot of these kids that have worked really hard in practice all week. But at this point here, you're just trying to prove to your coaching staff that you're not going to quit.
And that's kind of how their day's gone, right? Like, they haven't protected their guy up front, and that's why they haven't been explosive and scored a bunch of points, man. Position number 1 for every offense. Like, if we're going to throw, we got to protect him. And just right there, he gets hit again. He's been sacked several times. Like, this offensive line's got to do a better job.
Misfired on first down, back to the air on second. Finds his target down the middle. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there. Still a little ground to cover and pick up the first. Takes it from the gun on third down. Under fire. He wants a big play here late. And the pass was broken up, incomplete. And there's a flag on the field. This could be offensive holding. So the penalty will not be enforced. The defense declines and stands on the result of the play. And the groupers will send out the punt unit.
In punt formation to kick it away.
Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. Barring complete catastrophe, David, this offense ought to be able to salt away this game.
Yeah, and unless you're playing in a different league, this one's over. Like, there is no three-point conversions and stuff like that you can get. So run the ball, make them use timeouts, Palmer, walk out here with a dub.
Yeah, this defense should just use their timeouts. Can't take them with you, right? And let's just see. Who knows? Crazier things have happened in college football. Maybe they put the ball on the ground. They don't execute the center-quarterback exchange.
Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line. The Commodores line up, trying to move the sticks on third and short. They'll try to bully their way for the first. Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on her down. We waited so long to start the season, and just the way you want to start, getting that first victory.
And the first games are so much fun. You've been practicing against each other over and over all through camp. Now you get to come out, start the season off 1-0, Jesse. Great start.
It was a great start for the winning team. Now, for the losing team, obviously not the way you want to get into this season. There were some mistakes with execution, and guys are going to have to do a better job individually. But that's why you play the games. You get to now go back to the drawing board, get back on the practice field, try and iron out these wrinkles. It's a long season ahead. A lot to play for.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.